Manchester City have just beaten Wolverhampton Wanderers 1-0 in the Premier League, and that was a very significant 3 points for us today as we managed to get over the line against a good Wolverhampton Wanderers side in very good form at the moment and get 3 points to edge us that much closer, not only to Champions League football, but also Arsenal in second place. We're only 3 points off them now, with obviously them having a game in hand. However, tonight was about one man and one man only, and that was Kevin De Bruyne, who scored the winning goal for us to win us the game today. And I mean, wow, what a moment that was. I mean, just to see the Etihad light up the way it did, sing Kevin De Bruyne's name. Tonight was all about him, and I'm absolutely gutted that he's going to be leaving the club, but we can't do anything about it. We've just got to enjoy the last few moments we've got left with him. But it could have been a completely different game today if Wolverhampton Wanderers took their chances. In the first 20-25 minutes of the game, Wolverhampton Wanderers were having their way with us. They were creating some chances at relative ease. I think they were really getting in behind our fullbacks quite easily with their width out wide with Semedo and Ait-Nouri. It was causing us a whole lot of problems, and we conceded a really good chance. Mateus Cunha with a really good ball in behind for Bellegarde. Bellegarde then has a quite easy square there to Menezzi. He overcooks his pass, and luckily for us, it goes past Menezzi, and we escape going 1-0 down in the game. I mean, on a different day, if he just waits that pass correctly, it's 1-0 and a completely different game. And then only minutes later, we're scrambling around at the back once again. Ait-Nouri, I think it is, that hits the post with his original shot. Wolverhampton Wanderers get the rebound as well, and if it's not for Josko Gvardiol, that is 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Absolutely, it goes past Ederson, it's heading into the back of the net, but Gvardiol was on the line, and I've got to say, Gvardiol has really stepped up for us in the last couple of weeks. I mean, some of the performances he's putting in at centre-back, especially when Ruben Diaz hasn't been playing at his best, he's been absolutely magnificent, so I've got nothing but praise for Josko Gvardiol, and that is an absolutely massive block, and that just as much as Kevin De Bruyne's goal won us that game today. But then, towards the last 15 minutes of the half, it seemed to change. Manchester City began to get into our groove. We started to create chances. We were keeping the ball well. Wolverhampton were not countering us, and I thought we played really well in that last 15 minutes of the first half, and we could have scored a couple ourselves, but it was Jeremy Doku who created that moment of magic for us. He receives the ball just outside the box of Wolves. He then dribbles into the box. He's marked by two men. That does not matter when you've got Jeremy Doku on the ball. He skins them. He goes down the byline. He picks out Kevin De Bruyne arriving into the box, and De Bruyne with a really calm finish into the back of the net, and that is 1-0, and it wins us the game ultimately today. And I'm so happy for Kevin De Bruyne that he got his moment. Obviously, the crowd were singing his name. A really, really good atmosphere in the Etihad tonight. But Jeremy Doku, it must not go understated how important of a part he played in that goal, because Doku has been, I think, very much disrespected by a lot of people, and I don't think many people actually realize how good Jeremy Doku is and how good he can be. He's still very young. He's got so much talent. I mean, the way that he just takes people on for fun, and he just continues all game long to take on his fullback, and sometimes it doesn't work, and a lot of the time it does work. He gets kicked a lot, but I mean, my lord, does he take people on, and he is exciting to watch. So Jeremy Doku, fair play. He was the one that created that moment today, but Kevin De Bruyne is going to get all the headlines, of course, and absolutely deservedly so for what he's done for this club, not only today by scoring that goal, but over years and years and years of sustained success and brilliance. But then in the second half, I think the game began to die down a little bit. There weren't really that many chances either way like we had in the first half. I thought Manchester City maybe got the better of the second half, but it was quite even, if we're being completely honest. Wolves didn't do that much in an attacking sense. We didn't do that much of an attacking sense. We kind of just had a professional second half performance. We kind of killed the game. We ran it out. We managed to get the 3 points in the end, and Bernardo Silva was kicking the ball, launching it in the air towards the end of the game just to waste some time. So it was a professional performance in the second half by Manchester City. We knew what we were doing out there, but it wasn't the most exciting thing to watch, let's be completely honest. But of course, we got to talk about that red card decision, because I thought that was absolutely outrageous today. Bernardo Silva easily could have broken his leg. The VAR, I mean, how they've not given that as a red card is absolutely outrageous to me. At first, I thought Ait-Nouri was a little bit unlucky because he goes to do a little bit of a step over. But for what, for me, made it an absolute stonewall red card is the fact that after he does the step over, you can see there's an extension of his left leg that goes into Bernardo Silva, and he is the one that forcefully makes that contact. He could have avoided it by not extending his leg into Bernardo Silva's ankle, and he stomps down on his ankle with a decent amount of force. Apparently, according to the VAR, that was checked and cleared. And the reason why it was cleared is apparently there was not enough force and intent. I just don't know what they're watching, honestly. That is the most clear red card that I've seen in some time. So that was an absolutely disgraceful decision from VAR and the referees today, because Bernardo Silva could have had his leg broken for that challenge, and it's disgraceful that it was not punished. But let's be real, the game could have been completely different today. I mean, Wolverhampton, they will be ruining their missed chances, because that is ultimately what has costed them today in the game. Those two chances that they had to score one of them, and they didn't. And Manchester City, we punished them. We have obviously got a lot of quality going the other way, but you know, you look at that performance today and you think Wolverhampton were probably a little bit unlucky not to get anything out of the game, because they gave us a good game today. And you've got to give credit to obviously Wolverhampton, the way that they set up, the way that they had their wing backs really high, the quality as well, by the way, that they have bringing the ball out, playing out from the back, and the way that Agbadou specifically was able to play out our press today was really impressive. I mean, there was a couple of moments where I thought that we had him on the ball, and he is able to turn out, use that quality that he has on the ball to be able to get away from Marmoush, I think it was at one point, De Bruyne at another point. Really good stuff from him. So I thought he was really impressive today. From a Manchester City perspective, in the way that we set up, I think it was, I would have liked to see Nico Gonzalez in there personally. I just think that he adds a lot more physicality to our midfield and presence in there. When we play with the likes of Ilkay Gundogan, Kovacic, I think sometimes we can get overrun in there. In the wide areas, I think specifically is where we kind of struggled defensively today. I think Nico O'Reilly didn't have the greatest of games. Mateus Nunes as well started quite poorly as well, so I think that they were able to get the advantage over us in the wide areas earlier in the game. Marmoush off the right hand side as well was a little bit of a strange one for me today. I wouldn't play him there again. I don't think he looked entirely comfortable playing off the right hand side. Whenever he cuts in, you want him on his right foot, his strong dominant foot. When he was striking off his left foot, he didn't look as good as what we've seen obviously with his right foot, so I would like to see him off the left a little bit more. But obviously we've got a lot of left hand sided options like your Jeremy Doku's, who played really well today, so that does, you know, complicate things for Jeremy Doku, for Pep Guardiola. So I understand obviously from that side of things, but I do think he looked a little bit awkward off the right hand side at times today. But ultimately, I am just happy with the fact that we've got 3 points today, because that is absolutely massive for Champions League football. Going 4 points clear of Nottingham Forest now puts us in a really good position with Southampton up next. You would expect 3 points, even though we're away at Southampton. So that should take us up, hopefully, to 67 points, which should be enough to qualify us for Champions League football next season. We're only, as well, by the way, 3 points off of Arsenal, like I mentioned earlier in the video, which means if we win the remaining of our games towards now and the end of the season, Arsenal drop a few points here and there because they've got some difficult fixtures. There is a chance we finish second. That's all I'm going to say. There is a chance that we do finish second this season. And considering the point that we were at earlier in the season, especially in that December period, I mean, I would have absolutely bit your hand off for either FA Cup or second in the Premier League, let alone both of them. But let's move into the player ratings, and I'm going to be obviously starting off with Ederson in goal. I think he did all right. I don't think he had much to do during the game. I'm just going to give him a 6. I don't think really he had that much to do. I mean, there was the Cunha chance where he hit the post. Nori hit the post, I think, as well. All of the chances that kind of Wolverhampton had was just down to the fact that they didn't put him in the back of the net. It really wasn't much to do with Ederson. So I'm not really going to be able to give Ederson much more than a 6 because he didn't have that much to do today. At right back, Mateus Nunes, going to give him a 6. I don't think he was absolutely terrible. I think he gave the ball away a couple times poorly, specifically at the beginning of the game where he's getting booed by Wolverhampton fans. I think maybe he felt the pressure a little bit from that. I think as he got into the game, he began to get a little bit better, but ultimately not his best game. I think we did get caught out in those wide channels. Centre back for Diaz, I'm going to go with a 6. I don't think he had a great performance today. There was that moment as well where he gave the ball away in the midfield. It could have cost us in that moment. I think Pep Guardiola was really not happy with that as well. So I'm going to give Ruben Diaz a 6 for today. Josko Gvardiol, I'm giving it an 8. I thought he was outstanding. Some of the challenges that he made, he is really impressing me. You know, whether he plays at centre back, whether he plays at left back, he has just got so much quality in and out of possession. Defensively, I've questioned him at times this season, but he's really shut me up with the last couple of performances performances for City at centre-back, really saving us, to be honest, with Diaz not having the greatest games. Gvardiol with a really key block off the line today, and a really, really big performance, so I can't complain with Gvardiol. Left-back, O'Reilly, I'm going to give him a 5. I think he had a really poor performance today. He's been outstanding for us since he's come into the team. He's obviously a youngster. Pep hooked him, I think, in about the 55th minute. He could see O'Reilly was giving the ball away a few times. He didn't have his greatest night all game, to be honest. The first half as well, some loose touches. So it wasn't, what we've come to expect from Nico O'Reilly in that left-back role. But I'm sure he'll be back because he's been absolutely class for us since he's come in. But yeah, he didn't have a good game tonight. Into the midfield, I thought Kovacic had an alright game. I give him a 7. I think, there was a couple of moments where, he had some powder puff shots from the edge of the box. But I do think at times, he brought the ball out well. Was played decently in the midfield, so you're not gonna knock him too much for his midfield performance today. Then for Ilkay Gundogan, I'm gonna give him a 6. I think that he was a little bit of a bystander today. Didn't really get involved too much in the game. There was a couple moments where he made those runs beyond, Doku in that left channel. I just don't think he really did enough in the game today. He wasn't really that involved for me, so I'm going to give him a 6. Then going into Kevin De Bruyne, I'm going to give Kevin De Bruyne an 8. Really strong performance. I thought he was really good out of possession actually today, pressing quite a lot. Got the goal, obviously. Some good passes as well in behind at times. He maybe even could have got another if there was a bit more of a cleaner pass to him on the edge of the box from Doku at one point. But ultimately, Kevin De Bruyne, I thought he had a really good performance today. And for Bernardo Silva, I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he had a good performance today. I'm really, really impressed, and I'm really happy, by the way, that he has kind of got back to a little bit of good form recently, because he did go for a period for quite a large chunk of the season where he did become a little bit of a liability, if I'm honest, in the midfield. But recently, I've been really impressed with him. He's been getting back, doing his defensive roles very well. There was a moment in the game where we give the ball away really sloppily in the defensive area of the pitch. Bernardo Silva is there acting as a centre-back, clearing up. So I thought he did a really, really good job today. Bernardo Silva with another solid performance for us. So I'm really happy with Bernardo Silva and the way he's been playing in the last couple of games. Moving on to Marmoush, I'm going to give him a 6. As I said before, he was a little bit anonymous in the game. When he did get the ball, he struggled to really make an impact. When he got opportunities to shoot, he was shooting with his left foot, didn't really make the contact he wanted. It was just a little bit of a scruffy game for him. Obviously, the quality is there, not a question about that. But in terms of how he performed off that right-hand side today, I think it looked a little bit awkward. And yeah, I wouldn't say he had the best game today. Then moving on to Jeremy Doku off of the left-hand side. I'm giving him an 8. He probably would be just my man of the match for today. The amount of take-ons that he does, I mean, he's just such an exciting player to watch. He just is so positive. He always wants to run at his fullback. He makes things happen like he did for the goal today. And he's been that player for us in the last couple of weeks, coming off the bench, starting. He does the same thing. So I'm really impressed with Jeremy Doku. I think it's a little bit harsh at times. People call him an impact player. I think he can be much more than an impact player, as he showed today. But yeah, a really, really good performance from Jeremy Doku today. And ultimately, just as much as Kevin De Bruyne, he won us the game today. And then for the substitutes, for Foden, Lewis, and McAtee, I'm just going to give them a 6. They really weren't on the pitch long enough to be able to impact the game. So I'm just going to give them a 6. For Akanji, I'm going to give it a 7. I thought when he actually came on, I thought he looked quite solid for a player that's not played much recently. To come on for Nico O'Reilly at that point in the game, be slotted straight in at centre-back, I thought he was quality at points. A couple of the passes he picked out, there's a ball he put in for Jeremy Doku that was really, really impressive. And I thought overall he was quite solid when he came in. So for me, Akanji gets a 7. The rest of the substitutes get a 6. That is my player ratings for Manchester City against Wolves tonight. I am over the moon with the fact that we've got 3 points. But as I said, the night is about Kevin De Bruyne. An absolute unbelievable moment for him to score that goal in his penultimate match at Manchester City, at the Etihad. We've only got 4 more games remaining of him, so let's just enjoy, soak up every moment we've got left with the greatest player who has ever played for Manchester City. I'm absolutely gutted to say that he is leaving at the end of the season, but it is an inevitability. It will happen. So yeah, unfortunately he will be going, but an absolutely unbelievable moment for him, for the people who were in the ground, for fans watching at home like myself. Really, really happy for him. I'm really happy that we got the 3 points. Hopefully we can finish the season on a positive, get 4 more wins and finish in great form. But until then, I will be back in the next one. Thank you everyone who's tuned into the match reaction and player ratings. Hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy the content. Hit the like button if you did enjoy the video. It boosts it in the algorithm. And comment below if you have any video ideas or if you just want to comment on the match itself. Every comment is appreciated. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, on the match below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.